The book of Exodus, a cornerstone of biblical narrative, it's a story of divine intervention, miraculous escapes, and the birth of a nation. But nestled within this epic saga lies a perplexing episode, a cryptic encounter that continues to baffle theologians and scholars alike. Our focus, Exodus chapter 4, verses 24 to 26. Picture this. Moses, tasked with confronting the mighty Pharaoh, is en route to Egypt with his family. Suddenly, in a lonely lodging place, a chilling encounter unfolds. God, we're told, appears before Moses and seeks to kill him. With a flint knife in hand, Zipporah performs a bloody ritual, her words echoing with cryptic urgency. "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me." This act, whatever its true nature, seemingly appeases God's wrath, sparing Moses from impending doom. The story of Moses is one of the most enduring narratives in human history. Born into slavery, destined for greatness, his life was a tapestry woven with threads of tragedy, triumph, and divine intervention. Moses wasn't a born leader. He was, in his own words, slow of speech and slow of tongue. Yet it was this seemingly unremarkable man who God chose to confront the might of Egypt, to challenge Pharaoh himself, and demand the release of the Israelites from generations of bondage. To lead them out of Egypt would require more than military prowess. It would demand a leader who could reignite their faith, reminding them of their covenant with God, their forgotten destiny as a chosen people. Adding another layer of complexity to Moses' story is his unique upbringing. Rescued from death as an infant, he was raised in the very palace of the Pharaoh he was destined to confront. This unexpected turn of fate exposed Moses to the grandeur and power of the Egyptian court, to its wealth, its knowledge, and its ruthlessness. Did this upbringing sow seeds of doubt in Moses' mind? Did it make him question his loyalty, his identity? His sense of justice ignited, he acts impulsively, killing the overseer and burying the body in the sand. Forced to flee for his life, Moses abandons the gilded cage of the Egyptian court and seeks refuge in the vastness of the desert. It's in this desolate landscape, far from the opulence of Pharaoh's court, that Moses encounters the divine. Tending his flock, he stumbles upon a bush engulfed in flames, yet miraculously unconsumed. It's here that God speaks to him, revealing his grand plan for the Israelites and designating Moses as his chosen instrument. God's call is clear, his command absolute: go back to Egypt, free my people. But Moses, haunted by his past, riddled with self-doubt, hesitates. And so, armed with God's promise and burdened by the weight of his calling, Moses embarks on his perilous journey back to Egypt, his wife Zipporah and their sons by his side. The narrative takes a chilling turn as Moses and his family journey towards Egypt. We're told that God confronts Moses in a lodging place and seeks to kill him. The language is stark, devoid of its usual poetic flourishes, leaving us in no doubt about the gravity of the situation. God, who just moments ago had commissioned Moses as his prophet, now appears intent on his destruction. The text offers no immediate explanation for this sudden shift in God's demeanor. Some scholars point to the cryptic nature of the Hebrew text, suggesting possible translation errors or textual corruptions that might have obscured the original meaning. However, the most common interpretation centers around the concept of sin and obedience. The text itself offers no concrete answers, leaving us to sift through the preceding narrative for clues. Some commentators speculate that God's anger stems from Moses' initial reluctance to accept his mission. Others point to a possible connection with Moses' past, particularly his killing of the Egyptian overseer. Could this act, though motivated by compassion, still be weighing on his conscience, a sin that demanded atonement? Or perhaps God's anger is directed not at Moses himself, but at his family, specifically his sons. Could it be that they, unlike their father, had not been circumcised, a violation of the Abrahamic covenant and a grave offense in the eyes of God? To understand the significance of Zipporah's actions, we must delve into the ancient practice of circumcision. For the Israelites, circumcision was more than just a physical ritual. It was a sacred act, a tangible sign of their covenant with God. The covenant first established with Abraham stipulated that every male descendant must be circumcised on the 8th day of life. This act marked them as belonging to God, set apart from other nations bound by a sacred promise. Zipporah, a Midianite woman, may not have fully understood the theological intricacies of the Abrahamic covenant. However, she clearly recognized the gravity of the situation. Taking a flint knife, she swiftly circumcises her son, catching the bloody foreskin in her hand. The phrase bridegroom of blood has generated much debate among scholars. Some interpret it as a term of endearment, suggesting that Zipporah is reaffirming her commitment to Moses, even in the face of danger. Others see it as a challenge to God, a bold declaration that her son, through this act of circumcision, is now bound to his covenant, even if it means defying the divine will. Whatever the precise meaning of her words, Zipporah's actions had an immediate and decisive effect. The text tells us that God let him alone. The danger passes, the threat to Moses' life recedes. The narrative takes a dramatic turn with Zipporah's decisive action. Faced with the imminent threat to her husband's life, she doesn't hesitate, doesn't plead for mercy. Instead, she takes matters into her own hands, wielding a flint knife with a certainty that belies the gravity of the situation. Imagine the scene, a lone lodging place, the weight of the divine presence heavy in the air, Moses struck down by an unknown ailment. Zipporah, witnessing her husband's suffering, understands instinctively that this is no ordinary illness. This is the wrath of God, and it demands immediate action. Zipporah's words, uttered as she completes the circumcision, are as enigmatic as the situation itself. "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me." The phrase hangs in the air, thick with meaning, yet resistant to easy interpretation. Some scholars see in these words a declaration of love and loyalty. Others interpret it as a challenge, a bold assertion of her own agency in a patriarchal society. The phrase bridegroom of blood could also be understood in the context of ancient circumcision rituals. By performing the circumcision herself, Zipporah might be claiming a priestly role, acting as an intermediary between her son and the divine. Regardless of the precise interpretation, one thing is clear: Zipporah's words are not a random outburst. Zipporah's actions highlight the importance of ritual in the biblical world. In ancient Israelite society, rituals weren't mere formalities. They were powerful acts that bridged the gap between the human and the divine. Properly performed, they could appease the gods, avert disaster, and ensure divine favor. Circumcision, in particular, held a central place in Israelite religious life. Zipporah, though not an Israelite by birth, seems to understand the power of this ritual act. Her use of a flint knife further emphasizes the archaic, primal nature of the ritual. The episode of the bloody circumcision raises profound questions about the nature of obedience and interpretation in religious life. Why is God's anger so easily appeased by a single act of ritual? What does this tell us about the importance of outward compliance versus inward understanding? Some might argue that Zipporah's quick thinking highlights the importance of following religious law to the letter, even when the reasons behind it remain obscure. Others might see in this episode a more nuanced understanding of faith. Zipporah, though perhaps not fully grasping the theological intricacies of the circumcision ritual, acts out of love and a deep-seated belief in the power of her actions. Ultimately, the episode of the bloody circumcision defies easy answers, standing as a testament to the enduring power of ritual, the complexities of faith, and the mysterious ways in which the divine interacts with the human. A covenant restored? After Zipporah's intervention, God let him alone. The crisis is averted, Moses' life saved. But the brevity of this statement is unsettling. Does the circumcision fully explain God's change of heart? Some see it as affirming the Abrahamic covenant. Zipporah restores the covenant, averting divine wrath. The silence and the scars. The text remains silent on the reasons for God's anger. We're never told why God sought to kill Moses, nor Zipporah's understanding of the situation. This has led to many interpretations, each filling the gaps left by the narrative. Some see this silence as a literary device, emphasizing the mystery of the divine. God's ways are not our ways, and we must act on faith even without complete knowledge. It's worth noting that Zipporah, a Midianite woman, is the one who perceives the danger and takes decisive action to avert it. Moses, the chosen prophet, lies helpless, his life hanging in the balance. This reversal of roles challenges traditional notions of male authority and female subservience in the biblical world. Zipporah's actions suggest a deep, intuitive understanding of the divine, an ability to navigate the complexities of ritual and belief that surpasses even that of her husband. She emerges from this episode not as a passive bystander, but as a woman of action, a protector of her family, and a crucial figure in her own right. Her use of the phrase "bridegroom of blood" further underscores her agency. These words, though enigmatic, carry a weight of authority, a sense of ritual knowledge that commands respect and obedience. Zipporah, in this moment, becomes a priestess, a mediator between the human and the divine. Her actions shaping the destiny of her family and perhaps even the future of Israel itself. The episode of the bloody circumcision resonates with earlier stories of patriarchal encounters with the divine. Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son, Isaac, Jacob's wrestling match with God, these narratives all speak to the complex and often unsettling nature of the divine-human relationship. In each of these stories, we see humans grappling with the demands of faith and the ever-present possibility of both blessing and judgment. And yet, through it all, we also see glimpses of divine mercy, a willingness to forgive. The chilling encounter at the lodging place serves as a stark reminder of the absolute power of the God of Israel and the gravity of the covenant he established with his chosen people. It's a covenant forged in blood, demanding unwavering obedience and marked by both blessings and curses. Moses, the chosen leader, the conduit of divine law, finds himself on the precipice of destruction, his life hanging precariously in the balance. It's in this moment of crisis that Zipporah, the outsider, the Midianite woman, steps forward. With a flint knife and a cryptic utterance, she performs an act that appeases God's wrath, saving her husband's life and seemingly securing the destiny of the Israelites. Her actions, though shrouded in mystery, highlight the essential role of ritual and obedience within the covenant relationship. The bloody circumcision, far from being a mere cultural practice, becomes a pivotal moment in Moses' journey, a stark reminder of the price of leadership and the unwavering demands of the God he serves. It's a reminder that even the chosen ones are not above the law, that even the greatest prophets are subject to divine judgment. The episode of the bloody circumcision, despite its brevity, continues to intrigue and challenge readers centuries after it was written. It stands as a testament to the enduring power of faith, the complexities of divine justice, and the enduring mystery that often surrounds our understanding of the divine. The text, in its deliberate ambiguity, invites us to grapple with fundamental questions about obedience, sacrifice, and the nature of God's relationship with humanity. It challenges us to confront our own understanding of faith, to question our assumptions, and to embrace the possibility that some mysteries may never be fully understood. The story of Moses, the reluctant prophet who led his people to freedom, is forever marked by this enigmatic encounter. It serves as a reminder that the path to redemption is often fraught with peril, that even the most righteous among us are capable of stumbling, and that the grace of God, though sometimes terrifying in its manifestation, is ultimately what sustains us on our journey. God bless you all, my friends.